Hello, my snowflakes. It is me, Jodi Summer. How are y'all doing? And happy Pride Month. So, as some of y'all might have already noticed, I recently have released my single Curtain Call, and very soon I'll be releasing my EP called Seasons of Summer. So to celebrate all my hard work on that EP and to promote it a little bit, I guess, I wanted to make a makeup tutorial video to explain to y'all how I made my Seasons of Summer photoshoot look I did with Demi Photography. Yes, I look absolutely stunning, I look astonishing, and I look breathtaking. But with my help and my guidance, any of y'all could also look the same. Or at least look the second best, because let's be honest, nobody's gonna beat me, bitch. So yeah, what I want to do is just basically go through the process I did for my makeup. I'm gonna have to try to recreate it, because it's been a month or two since I actually did that photo shoot, and I don't remember exactly what I did, but as long as I can recreate it faithfully, we're gonna be okay. Thankfully, one of the photos I did shows my face quite clearly with, bright white lights, so I know exactly what colors I'm using. Although it shouldn't be that hard for my face, as basically I use the same routine most of the time, really. It's just my eyes that I do differently, so I just need to know exactly what I did. So if you want to see me in my neon goth realness, just make sure to watch the whole video. But before we actually start, just make sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bloody bell to help the girl out. I want fame. I want some of it. Give it to me. Just go for it. So to start the whole process off, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go wash my face, dry it so there's no oils on it, and I'm gonna glue my eyebrows. Okay, I'm back and I'm bearing it all, as y'all can see. We're going full close and personal on it, honey, revealing our breastises. Because frankly, I don't want to get all the makeup on my clothes. And while normally I would just put a shirt that I don't care about dirtying, it's middle of summer, it's June actually, so happy Pride Month, motherfuckers. And it's hot as hell, so I don't want to put more clothes than I need to right now, thank you. It even like my breasts, tough like sugar. So for all the products, I'm gonna try my best to explain to you what I'm using. Maybe put it in the description. I cannot promise anything because I'm a forgetful little thing. Just make sure that your face is shaved, you have some skincare routine with moisturizers and whatnot, especially if you use as much makeup as me, for example, because all the makeup can age your skin quite bad, or it can break out your skin quite badly. So yeah, just make sure you're on top of that stuff. To glue my eyebrows down, I'm using Elmer's purple stick. It is amazing. I used to use Pritt stick when I started gluing my eyebrows down, but the moment I actually switched to Elmer's, the difference is like night and day, honey. The consistency is simply chunkier, and it just doesn't work well when you're trying to hide your eyebrows on your skin. While this is quite smooth, it does say purple stick, but after you put it on and it dries, it just disappears. It's magic. Don't ask me how it works. I'm just good at makeup. I'm not a scientist. So in total, I'm gonna put 4 layers of glue on my face because of how thick my eyebrows are. Honestly, the first 2 layers, there's still hair sticking out here and there usually, so you gotta make sure those little bastards are all nice and tidy. In more detail, I'm going to put the first layer, just go all over the place in a round circular motion, just to make sure that the glue is covering every part of my eyebrows inside and out, quite literally. Next, I'm gonna grab my spoolie with an angled brush from Morphe. I believe it's called Morphe E29, and from that point I'm going to brush all of my eyebrow hair upwards, or more likely just in the direction they naturally grow, just so they stick evenly in a natural way. Now you gotta make sure that each layer of glue is completely dried out before you proceed with another one. A good indicator of a layer being dry is when you put it on, you can simply feel the stickiness, and when it dries out, you just don't feel it at all. So follow your heart, follow your gut, and do the damn thing. Once the first layer is done, just follow with all the 3 or 2 or however many you need really to properly glue your eyebrows with an upward motion, just so really don't mess up your work. So as you can see, I'm simply trying to follow the direction the eyebrow naturally grows into from the beginning of it. I don't know what to call it. I'm not smart, if you couldn't tell. So as you can see, this layer is just freshly put on while this one is drying, and you can see how much of the purple already disappeared. You will not see it at all. So don't you worry about a thing, honey. Can I also address the elephant in the room? All your bitches who do not need to wear glasses. Your life is so much easier because you can grab a bloody mirror, put it a mile away from you, and you can still see yourself perfectly. I do not have that privilege. Because I'm a blind bitch, I have to like put it right here just to see anything. Horrible. Honestly, I need to buy myself like a fan because I'm just using notepads usually to help myself with the whole process. I can definitely see some single strands of hair just peeling off and just sticking out. But as I said, that's exactly why we need to put multiple layers, just to make sure that the whole surface is smooth, every single strand of hair is glued down. Some people also like to use those bigger sticks because it gives more coverage at once, but honestly, my eyebrows are not as wide or as bushy, I don't know what's the word for it, because I don't let them be. So I would rather have more precision than size. Size doesn't matter, everybody, you heard it here first. It's also the perfect time because I'm doing my blue makeup when I just yesterday painted my nails yellow, so it's gonna be a perfect color match. I am so glad about that. Now I apologize. I'm not perfect. I'm trying to be, but it's not easy. I had a dream when you were dying. I am obsessed with Miley Cyrus, if you couldn't tell. I'm obsessed with a lot of ladies in the music industry, but they're just so fierce. Like, I want to be so fierce too. I actually went to a Miley Cyrus nightclub a week ago. I was planning to go with my friend, but she had to cancel last minute because she got ill. At least I hope she got ill. Laura, if you're watching, I see you, girl. I'm keeping my eye on you, bitch. So I had to go by myself. And I actually had a marvelous time. Like, all the songs, I just managed to find people to dance with and just, you know, let my freak out a little bit. Sadly, I didn't get any dick, but maybe next time. Boys, I'm waiting for y'all. I'm single, available, and ready to mingle. Any day, anytime, any place, honey. Honestly, if I'm ever going to do another makeup video, I'm skipping the process of bloody doing eyebrows. Like, you see me here once, that's all you're getting, okay? Next time, good luck, because I'm going straight into makeup. I don't give a shit, because I don't want to waste my goddamn time. Okay, finally, my eyebrows seem to be glued down and dry and all good and nice. So you should just have this, you know, dry, smooth feeling right over here. And then we can move on. Also, as you can see, I put a hairnet on just so the hair does not get in the way of makeup. And because if I'm gonna put a wig on, that's the best way to just shape it, I guess. So for now, I'm simply going to grab loose powder, just make sure it's completely dry and move forward. So what I'm using here is loose setting powder in Mattifying Translucent by MUA. Now, a little warning, most of the products I'm going to be using today are from drugstores. On this channel, we believe that you can still achieve good drag makeup with drugstore products as long as you have a good technique for it. Don't judge me, bitch. I'm poor. I don't have as much money as Trixie Mattel, you know? Don't come for me, bitch. Pay me first. So I'm just gonna get this and put a whole bunch just on here on the lid right here, and I'm gonna grab this little puff. I would love to have a bigger puff, but I can't find any good puff anywhere. I probably would have to go to, I don't know, Amazon or somewhere. You cannot buy a big puff in the drugstores, which is criminal. I'm gonna pat the puff into the product, and then I'm going to press it into the eyebrows. I'm just going to beat it, just to make sure it's definitely set into my eyebrows. Wonderful. Oh, I need some good beating. And then I like to grab this big powder brush to just brush away any excess of powder. Very, very lightly. You don't need a lot of force. What should be there is gonna stay there, so it's fine. To hide the blue undertone of my eyebrow hair, I'm going to grab a red pigment and just put it all over it, just to counteract the blue. And for that, I'm going to use this e.l.f. putty blush in the color Bahamas. At least I hope it's called Bahamas, because it doesn't say anything else that could indicate the name of the color. And for that, I'm simply just going to put my finger on it and then tap into the eyebrows as so, not to mess up the glue, and then tap with a clean finger to just slightly blend it. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is to counteract the blue in my eyebrows with a warm color of the blush and not just add more red, because then it's still gonna show under the foundation. And just to make sure it's actually blended out, I'm going to grab my little blending sponge that I got from Real Techniques. It's very lovely, very fluffy, very soft. It just works well on your skin. It's not just harsh and hard. Make sure it's actually blended and it doesn't pick out too much. And the last bit that I'm going to do for my eyebrows, before actually moving on to the rest of my bloody face finally, is I'm going to grab a concealer. I'm gonna put some of that on top of everything before I put foundation on at the end. And speaking of concealers, I actually had to postpone recording this video for at least an hour, because as I was getting ready and I have everything set up, I remembered that I ran out of concealer and I had to drive 20 minutes by bus to get there and get my concealer, and then the next bus home. Just not a good day. So to hide my eyebrows, I'm going to use this 16-hour Camo Concealer matte finish from e.l.f. in the shade of Fair Rose. I'm sorry, I have to read everything because again, I cannot see from far away, so every time I'm reading something I have to be so bloody close. Yeah, so I'm just going to, cover it. It's a lot of makeup, but then, I got big brows, thick brows, so go for it. Liberate yourself, baby. Finally, my eyebrows are gone and we can move on. It just took us an hour just to get to this point. This is a good video. We gotta start by priming our face. We do this just to make sure our face is ready for the makeup. That there's this little layer between our skin and foundation. The foundation sticks better and we don't break out as much. Also, there are different primers that do different things. For example, this Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser by Maybelline is supposed to, erase your pores, just make your skin seem smoother before you actually put on foundation on. I hope I still got stuff in here. Okay, thank God for a second. I thought I ran out of that too, just like with the concealer. I would not appreciate that. Make sure you don't forget the neck, because at the end of the day, we need to blend our foundation right there too. You don't want to look like Jim Carrey in Mask, baby. Unless you do. That's a look too. Some people do different makeup. Maybe you're more artistic, maybe you just don't give a fuck. Next is the color correction, which is the thing we did with our eyebrows and the red pigment. Except, we put it on other places on our face too. So for that, I'm gonna use the Putty Primer from e.l.f. again. On top of that, I'm gonna use the NYX Professional Makeup Color Correcting Concealer, which to be quite honest is my good old faithful. So from this one, I'm simply going to use the yellow one underneath my eyes to counteract the dark circles around it, because I don't get enough sleep with a full-time job that I have and trying to be a fabulous bitch that you see on the internet and on stage. And then we're gonna use this greenish blue to try to hide any of my spots. Hopefully I don't have many spots, just any redness in general. And it's the same thing as with the brows, just use one finger to apply the pigment and the clean one to blend it out. Now the red bit is a little bit more tricky because I'm actually going to use this on my beard area. Yes, unfortunately I'm a man under all the makeup. I have to shave, I have to still cover it because you can still see it underneath that. Unfortunately for me, but it is not impossible. I'm going to grab this another brush from Morphe, which name I do not know because there's no name on here, don't come for me. All I can tell is, as far as I remember, this is a cream bronzer brush, so it's perfect for this situation really. I'm just gonna dip it right here, just get all that good color, honey, and get to work. and then just make sure it's further blended with a sponge. Finally, we got to the big part, which is putting on foundation. So for foundation, I have two different types of foundations, depending on what type of makeup I want to do. If I'm doing just a boyish makeup, in the way that I don't need to glue my eyebrows down, I use a liquid foundation. But because my eyebrows are glued down, the best thing to do is use a cream stick foundation. So for this one, I'm using a Revolution Quick Stick Foundation in the shade of F4. I really hope I'm using the name right because it does not have the name anywhere. Also, this is going to be the moment of truth because to reveal a little secret to you, I have not done makeup in about a month because I was busy seeing friends and whatnot. And yeah, it's summer, as I mentioned, it's June, happy Pride month, and we're going to see if this shade still matches my skin. Now I'm basically just going to put it all over my place, just making sure I don't miss a spot and it's evenly blended and it's smooth. And don't forget to put another thick layer of foundation on top of your eyebrows to completely cover them, at least hopefully. The only place you should really skip, in my opinion, is the eyelids, because you are going to put a different type of product on it later, but no spoilers for now. Now that it's all on, just blend, 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 like your life depends on it. And don't forget to cover your ears too. Again, you do not want the Jim Carrey situation going on. And yes, if any of you ever watched Trixie Mattel and seen her videos doing her makeup on British drugstore products, you definitely heard her really bashing this foundation. But what I have to say about that is, I do not have the money Trixie Mattel does, so suck my dick. Personally, I think it does its job. Is it very gooey? Yes, it definitely is once you put it on your face, but there are ways to counteract it. It's gonna be fine in the end. And once again, I do not have the same amount of money that she does, so please be patient with me, and if not, back off. Now comes the contouring part of the face, and I usually contour my face twice. First time is right now, when I do this with more liquid / cream products, and then the second time I'm doing this after my eyeshadow, where I use powder products. So the products I'm using is the e.l.f. Cosmetics concealer that I use early on my eyebrows, and that's gonna act as a highlighter. And for the bronzer, I'm using Be Perfect Cosmetics Shape Stick in the shade of Maple. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be using the bronzer to cut my jawline, my cheekbone, and make my 5 head smaller than it is. And let's be honest, I need to use all the help I can get. And then also cut my nose. Afterwards, I'm gonna get my concealer, use it under my eyes, on my chin, on my nose, and middle of forehead, and above the jawline, just to emphasize those parts of my face. At the end of the day, contouring can be really compared to sculpting. So with the bronzer, you are pushing things away, while with the highlighter, you are pulling them forward. So what you're really doing is just playing tricks on your mind. Oh god, this is not even at all, is it? And then once again, we're gonna grab our faithful blending sponge and yes, you guessed it, we're gonna blend. The foundation is done, the contouring is done. Now we are finally able to do our eyebrows. And while usually right now I would use eyeshadow to do my eyebrows, I had a look at the picture I'm referencing, and I do believe that I did my eyebrows with pomade rather than an eyeshadow on that day, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna need, once again, my concealer from e.l.f. and then 2 pomades from NYX Cosmetics. And they're exactly NYX Cosmetics Tame and Frame Tinted Brow Pomade in the shades of chocolate and dark blonde. The reason I use 2 different shades usually to do my eyebrows is to create an ombre look, so it is darker on the outer parts of the eyebrow, and then the further it goes into the inside part of my face, the lighter it becomes, just to have that nice ombre effect. And you could do it both with pomade and eyeshadow, so it's all fine. To apply my eyebrows, I'm going to grab the Morphe E29 brush. It's the same one that I used the spoolie for gluing my eyebrows earlier. And I'm going to start by putting the lighter shade of pomade, starting from very much where my normal eyebrows start. So it's basically right above the inner part of my eye. And then once I move outwards, I just try to make sure that my eyebrow ends up higher, giving it more space for eyeshadow and just changing the expression on my face, really. Okay, so the pomades might be a little dated and it might be a little bit harder to work with them on now because they seem to be quite stiff. So I'm gonna show you what you can do to improve the pigment and working with some of the products. You can use this with pomades, you can use it with eyeshadows. Just, you gotta be a little bit careful while you do this because you don't want to completely ruin it at the same time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab my micellar water. I'm gonna shake it because there are a few layers in this one, so you gotta shake it, baby. And I'm going to grab my brush and I'm gonna put the micellar water on the brush, and that's how I'm gonna get more product from it. So that way it's gonna be more pigmented and it's gonna be easier to work with, especially in this condition. Just make sure you do this on the side rather than the center of it, because again, you do not want to completely ruin the whole thing, I guess. This is so annoying. That's why I don't work with pomades that much anymore. I prefer just eyeshadow because just consistent performance on that one, honestly. I still do use pomades on my actual eyebrows. I think that's the thing. I think pomades work better on actual hair rather than glue and whatnot. Yeah, it's just not what I would do, but I'm gonna do this because the picture says I should do that. So do not ever tell me I'm not committed to my art. So as you can see here, I started with quite a straight line, just slightly more tilted than my actual eyebrow, and then once I hit the upper part of my actual eyebrow, I started bending it slightly. So what I'm gonna do with the upper part of my drawn eyebrow is I'm gonna do basically the same, but once I have to bend it, I'm just gonna have to make sure that the turn is slightly sharper than it is on the bottom half of it. Also, I gotta be careful because I don't want this to be too thick of an eyebrow. Obviously, you do you. Do whatever eyebrow you want. You want it thick, you want it thin, you want it like Bosco or whoever else does interesting eyebrows, it's you. If you're doing like drag art or artistic makeup, sky's the limit, honestly. And once both of the sides are connected, I'm just gonna fill in the center. I'm gonna just finish this eyebrow before moving on. Remember to not worry too much about making the eyebrows identical. They're supposed to be siblings, not twins. Although personally I like to say that most of the time my eyebrows simply look like brother and sister from an incest relationship. The point is, make them similar, but not the goddamn same. Like me, I already don't know what I'm doing with the other eyebrow. I don't know if it's even related at all. Do I give a fuck? I do not at all. So now I'm going to grab a different pomade and I'm gonna go over the outer parts of it and then just trying to blend it ever so slightly into the inner parts of it, just for that cool ombre effect as I mentioned earlier. Yes, I'm just making sure again, just do the outline first, make sure it's even with the lighter color and then just put it inside, and after that just blend it slightly. Make sure not to put it too deep in there, because again, you want the second color, not just one. Okay, not bad, not bad. Let's see how the other one goes. God damn it, I can't see anything. You know what, I changed my mind. I do like pomade, it's just this one damn color that I didn't like. You cannot see it and it's so hard to work with for some reason. This one is fine, like look how nice it looks. It's just the other one that's way too light. Okay, it's not the worst. I definitely did worse than this. But we are not done with our eyebrows just yet, because now we are going to grab our concealer and just clean the bottom half of it. I don't care about the top, you gotta take care of your bottoms. However, I'm not going to just put the bloody concealer on my eyebrows. That would be crazy. What I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna get the concealer and put it a blotch on my hand, and then I'm going to apply some of that on my Morphe M167, which is a concealer brush, and then just work from there for a nice sharp finish. And then once you have that applied, all sharp and neat on the eyebrow, obviously, you're going to take this brush again and just tap it slightly downwards to blend the concealer into the rest of the foundation or whatever your skin, whatever is down there. There's something. I'm feeling a little bit frisky, so I'm gonna use my blending sponge just to further the work in the blending. Before we move on with the eyeshadow, there's a big part of my makeup routine that we need to do. As I mentioned before, the foundation I'm using can be rather gooey at times, so to stop it from being gooey and not to unglue itself from my face and just move around too much, we're going to put a whole shitload of loose powder on our face, on my face, because I'm doing the makeup. Maybe you're gonna be doing the makeup later, but I'm doing the makeup right now, so it's my face. So it's literally going to be the same process we did with the eyebrows, except much more powder, much more space, and I think I'm just running out of powder, but that's okay. That's okay, that's absolutely fine, because I bought more already. I had more for ages. I was prepared with that, but not with the concealer, because I'm a dumb bitch. I have my powder on my puff, and I'm now going to cover my whole damn face. Let's go! I think I am actually done. Okay, this is all. That's fine. As I said, no problem at all. I was prepared. I'm always prepared. Concealer would not agree with me at all. I never said I'm honest. I'm honest sometimes. When you need to be. I can tell you when your face is busted. I can tell when my face is busted. One thing I like to say is, I'm stupid, not delusional. Okay, my face is beat. I'm gonna grab the brush to just brush away the excess. I don't want it too much on my face. But now it should be, yeah, it will be gooey. My finger will be dragging aside effortlessly on my skin. It's like a bloody ice rink. While my face is already powdered, I'm still gonna put a little bit more of the powder underneath my eyes. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because when I'm doing my eyeshadow and putting eyeliner and just overall working on my eyes, there are gonna be moments where I'm gonna be putting my wrist, just resting it on here just to balance my hand a little bit better. So I'm putting this on, just have a second layer of protection so that my foundation doesn't slide at all, because it's gonna be very visible. It's gonna be very, very, very visible. So just right here, I might be end up putting it even too high a little bit, because I still need to put eyeshadow in that area. But yeah, I'm gonna put this here, and I'm not going to brush it away. For now, I'm gonna brush it away once the eyeshadow process is done. So for my eyeshadow for the Photoshop, I simply went with this smoky black eye that blends into blue, because I love blue. I went with blue to represent seasons of summer. At the end of the day, the EP is supposed to represent the time of my life that wasn't exactly the best, and to emphasize that seasons of summer are quite sad, so blue and sad, those colors go well together, you know. I'm a genius, in other words. Now, if you were paying any attention at all until this point, then you are going to remember that I did say that you can make your drag makeup work with drugstore products. And yes, I did say that, but at the same time, I'm a big liar. No. I really do believe that. But the point I'm trying to make is, while I do believe that you can do most of your makeup with just drugstore products and make it work, I also do believe that it is not as easily done with eyeshadow. Because for eyeshadow, especially with drag makeup or just being a makeup artist, you want eyeshadow that is well pigmented, blends well, something that's just generally well formulated. And usually you cannot get that for a cheap price, unfortunately. I'm not using some super expensive products for that, or brands for that, but at the same time, most of the stuff I've been using, each of them was what, just a few quid, while the eyeshadow palette I'm gonna be using was worth 40 quid alone. There's definitely a price difference with that. And to start us off, we're gonna prime our eyes before putting on eyeshadow. Now, the reason we do this is, once again, we prime our eyes, we're putting that extra layer to not age as quickly, not to fuck up our skin as easily, I guess. But at the same time, using eyeshadow primer definitely helps the pigment come off and just pop, just really show on your skin, just make it exciting. So for my eye primer, I'm going to use P. Louise Base Pro in the shade of Rumor Zero, which is literally just white. I don't think I should have gotten it in white, because I just thought, oh, white, you know, what's better color to put on your skin than white if you want pigment to show on the skin. But at the same time, if you're trying to blend it into your brow bone under the eyebrows, it's might pop out a little bit too much, but it's fine. If I'm doing drag makeup, it doesn't make a difference. That it looks fine. What I'm trying to say, I'm doing heavy makeup anyway, so what's the difference here? And to prime my eyes, I'm gonna put the thing again on my wrist, just as we did with the concealer earlier. Then I'm going to grab my blending sponge, dip it in there, and just blend all over my eye. You know, some people simply would get a concealer brush and just go ham on it. But personally, I don't think that's the right approach in my opinion. I don't know, I feel like just doing it this way is, not only do you save it a little bit more, but then it also doesn't crease as easily. You definitely don't want that with makeup, and that's not thing that makeup can do a lot. I'm actually very happy that I'm doing smoky eye. I think it's one of the easier methods to do your eyes with. I'm not saying it's easy, because let's be honest, to do your eyeshadow properly, you still need some technique, you still need skill, whatever type of eyeshadow you're doing. But it's definitely easier than having to do a cut crease or a halo look, because again, you have to cut stuff, and I'm not always good with that. At least I haven't been. I'm learning a little bit more about it. I'm getting better, but you know, I just want it to be done and, you know, just look gorgeous and not have to put too much effort because I'm a lazy ass bitch. So now it is time, bring the drum rolls. It is time for the man of the hour, for a reason, for a season, the mad lad of this video, our eyeshadow palette, which is Be Perfect Cosmetics Carnival 3 Tahiti. And this is what it looks like. Let me just get it open. Okay. Okay, let me just grab it. I'm just trying to do it. I'm trying to do it professionally. Oh, there we go, honey. Let's go. Oh, that's what it looks like, baby. It's very gorgeous. It's, you know, all the colors of the rainbow. The colors are very well pigmented and they blend beautifully. So I am in love with this palette. I have another palette from Be Perfect Cosmetics. They're all great, which is Carnival 4 Antidotes, I believe it's called. Because of the blues, here and here we're gonna focus on Carnival today. The colors we're going to use, as you can see, are the Deep, Lagoon, and possibly Black Beach, and perhaps Vanilla. I'm not exactly sure about the Black Beach because I don't remember. I think we're going to use it. More on that later. To start us off, we're going to take the lighter blue shade Lagoon with this Morphe M441 brush, and we're gonna just outline it. We're gonna just make the blueprint. Pun intended, bitches. Which then we're gonna blend later into the darker shade of blue and then into black. So what I'm doing is I'm dragging, I'm doing the bow motion, just dragging it left and right really, quite lightly, not putting too much pigment at once because you want it to blend fine too. Then I'm gonna put a slightly more circular motion just to blend it upwards a little bit. Again, I have not put any more eyeshadow on because I'm trying to blend it first. I'm gonna probably put a little bit more down here in a second, just so there is more color. Also, the way I approach taking eyeshadow is I also pat into it a little bit, and then either mirror or anything, just anything you can do, just pat it slightly so any excess is gone. I'm doing this to avoid the patchiness and just, again, just putting too much eyeshadow on because that's gonna affect the way you blend it. I'd rather put a little bit and then just work to make it more pigmented rather than put too much pigment and then panic because I cannot shear it down. Also, I'm putting this color on my brow bone, like above the crease. As you can see, it's put on my real eyebrow too. After that, I'm gonna put the darker color on my crease and then just blend it later with the dark on my eyelid. Now I'm gonna grab Morphe M433, which is a blending brush. I forgot to mention this previous one was a round blending brush. And now I'm gonna grab M433, which is again a blending brush, except this one is slightly flatter, so it allows a little bit more precision, I guess. And what I'm gonna do with this is I'm going to grab this bright neutral color Vanilla and just put it above the blue, right in this brow bone section, just to highlight it. Basically works as a powder highlighter in this case. What I also like to do is grab this big round blending brush, which does not have a name, it's from Morphe though, and just have this one because it's very big and it's very fluffy, very soft. So what I like to do with this is I don't put any product on it, I simply use it as a pure blending brush. So if I need to clean up something, I'm just simply going to grab it and just try to brush it away. Like here, there you go. I thought it was too far. I think it's just right. Okay, another color, another brush. I'm gonna grab this Morphe E22. I do not know what it's called exactly. I do remember it's supposed to be like a blending kind of crease brush. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab this dark blue, which I do not remember the name of. Let me take a moment here. We're gonna grab the Deep with our brush. and we're gonna put it on the crease, blending it into the lagoon. So I'm making sure I put it on the tip of it and just put it right into the crease. And you want to make sure you don't close your eyes while you're doing this, because then it's gonna really like warp your perception of where the actual crease is. So what you want to do rather is simply slightly look down, like I don't know, put the mirror slightly down or tilt your head or something, find your way, and yeah, go into town with this, because yes, it's gonna change it as well, not as far, not as rapidly, so you still have room to work with. Also, I have to say, like, this is quite boring for me at the moment. I'm not saying doing makeup is boring for me, because I wouldn't be doing it if I found it boring. What I'm saying is, usually, when I'm doing makeup, I listen to podcasts or listen to music. Right now, I do not have the option to do that, because first of all, copyright strike, I do not need that in my life. Second of all, I already am going to have probably a soundtrack on top of this, and it's gonna, like, not work well with having other music played, so only extra form of entertainment I have at the moment is talking to you guys. If only you were able to talk back to me. But hey, I'm just gonna act as if you can. Again, I'm cleaning up just the excess because I went slightly over the line with the clean brush. It should work like a charm. Or maybe not, maybe I put too much and now even Jesus himself would not be able to help me if he wanted to. But yeah, adding the dark one is definitely like a blending point. So it's definitely gonna blend better with the black rather than just having one color. And it gives us more depth into the whole thing. Well, yeah, I want to talk about depth. I'm gonna put fucking black on my eye. So for the black for my eye, I need to have the most pigment I can get. And black eyeshadows are unfortunately not as pigmented as I would love them to be. Because, you know, usually normal people don't want actual black on their eyes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put black gel liner on my lid first. So this is Revolution gel liner. Not much to say about that, it's just black eyeliner that's in the gel form. And I'm going to grab this Morphe M432 flat liner brush and just put it on my lid. Now I gotta be quite careful, to be honest, because it can really easily put too much on. So I'm just gonna dip slightly in here. I think it's still too much, and I'm just gonna try to put it on. Okay, I'm already scared. Oh, I hate working with this. See, I told you it can be quite hard still. It's supposed to be like a simpler technique, but it still can be quite hard if you don't know what you're doing. And I never know what I'm doing, so I'm screwed. See, this is still the same fucking thing. I told you, you can so easily go ham on it. Okay, I don't want to say I completely ruined the fucking look. Oh my god, I hope I didn't know. Okay, so to set it and maybe save it, I'm gonna grab another brush, which is this Morphe M506. I'm gonna grab this brush and I'm gonna put it into the black shadow, which is called Black Beach, and I'm gonna just set it on top of that liner, and I'm gonna try to blend it with the eyeshadow, with the blue eyeshadow, so it's not just line. We're gonna see how well that goes for me. Oh, I'm nervous. See, if things go wrong, it's TV. Okay, so it's still hard to use the brush on top of that, so instead of dragging it, I'm gonna try to just tap it and try to like blend it as much as I can. We're gonna see how that goes for me. Okay, so I actually managed to save it. I just simply grabbed the bigger brush, which is Morphe M330. I think it's still supposed to be like a round, blending, crease crash, something like that. They have so many different names, girl. I do not remember that. I have so many brushes. I am not going to remember every single goddamn name of them. But yeah, I did manage to finally blend it slightly further down here. I just need to I don't know. Just keep on working on that, and soon enough, it should be fine. It should be fine, girl. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Oh my god. Okay, this looks great. I actually like the way it's looking. Ooh, I did not expect that at all. Can we just say that? I am amazing. So I might have lied earlier when I said size doesn't matter. Apparently, size does matter. Well, what a surprise. Okay, so I managed to save it. Big surprise. Moving on, we need to put some eyeshadow underneath our eye as well. So for that, I'm gonna use this Morphe E36 with the shade of... It was called The Deep, okay? It was something with depth, okay? I had it more or less. And I'm gonna grab it, and I'm just gonna put it directly under the waterline, and then at the same time just try to blend it all together. So it's nice and seamless. Now I'm going to put more black on my waterline this time with this NYX Cosmetics Epic Wear liner stick in pitch black. And this is exactly where the extra powder underneath my eyes comes in handy, because I literally need to drag the bottom half of my eyelid in order to be able to put eyeliner on the waterline. And if I did not put that, you would definitely see my fingerprints. And now you shouldn't, but who knows? We're gonna see in a second how is that gonna work. Okay, I just realized that I usually do that with the stand the mirror, and I use both my hands and I cannot see shit right now, so be right back. Okay, I'm back. The eyeliner is on. I can only explain it to you. I have no video proof of that, but what I did is with one finger I pull on my eyelid down here, and then with the second one, with the eyeliner, I simply draw the liner on the waterline. And as you can see, because of the powder down here, you cannot see a fingerprint on. So my method is working and you cannot tell me shit. But because I am done with it, I can now brush it off. Finish off my eyes for now. I'm just going to grab a good old mascara just to make my luscious and wonderful eyelashes look even more luscious and wonderful. If only I can find it. You gotta be especially careful with the bottom lashes because they're shorter, obviously, so it's much easier to just accidentally leave mascara on your skin. But if you do so, you can literally just wait until it dries and then grab a spoolie and just scrape it off, so it's not that much of a big deal. Still be careful, the less fuck ups you do, the better at the end of the day. Whew, okay, our eyes are done, we can go back into the contouring, except right now we're gonna do the contouring with powders instead of creams and liquid. And we're basically gonna do exactly the same thing, except we're gonna do it step by step before blending everything together and adding blush on top of that. So I'm grabbing this XX Revolution bronzer in the shade of Vignette and this big tilted powder brush, and I'm going to just sculpt my face. This one is quite deep brown. So the way I'm doing this is I'm gonna use this big brush again, slightly, ever so slightly, to put on the bronzer, and then I'm gonna grab a smaller one just to add more depth and add more blend into this whole thing. So this is the brush I'm going to add more depth into the bronzer. But I also have another tilted brush, which this one I usually keep clean, and that's my blending brush, just to blend it all together and make sure it's not patchy and doesn't have too much sharp edges, because at the end of the day we are not Trixie Mattel. I love you, Trixie. I just don't want to look like you. And for the life of me, I cannot tell you what brands these are, because I did not buy these brushes. I was given these brushes after my mom passed away. So, you know, you want your mother to be alive, instead you get free brushes. That's life for y'all. I also have this flat bronzer brush to do my nose, so I'm just literally going to cut the nose, not too big and not too small, just the perfect size, just so it fits into other people's businesses. But I'm gonna blend it with this smaller brush before I even put anything on, just to make sure my nose is not all brown. Moving on to the blush. We're going to use the MUA's Blushed Matte Blush Powder in the shade of Atomic Tangerine. And what I'm doing is, I'm just putting a layer of blush above my layer of bronzer. It's literally just going to be a layer of bronzer, and then a layer of blush, and then a layer of highlighter. So, my phone stopped recording after 3 hours of recording. So, yeah, so I tried to get it back on. I had to delete a few stuff because I had no more space in my phone. And I thought I pressed record, and I didn't. And I just realized that because my phone was dead for God knows how long. Sorry, I'm just mad at my own stupidity. Oh, I'm just angry. Oh my god. Okay, just to sum up everything that happened between this, I put blush over here, highlighter over here. I put baking powder on the top of my face just to blend everything better. Then I put some cream highlighter on my cheekbones and my nose just to make it pop in more. And now I'm in the process of putting my eyelashes on and doing my lipstick and then putting a primer on. Or setting spray. That's a setting spray. That's a setting fucking spray. I'm just, oh my god, I'm tired. I snipped my new lashes because usually they're too long and they're poking me. So now I'm gonna put the adhesive on, and while I'm waiting for the adhesive to get tacky, to be perfect to put on my eyelid, then I'm gonna put lipstick on. You wanna make sure there's enough adhesive for every part of the lash. You definitely do not want to start putting your lash on it and realize the side of it did not have enough adhesive and now, well, the side doesn't glue properly. Okay, the adhesive is on. Now I just need to wait. And while I wait, I'm gonna put my lipstick on. So it usually is the perfect time. We're gonna see how it goes today because I have to talk, and because I talk, it's gonna take longer. I always like to make sure that my lips are moisturized before I put anything on them. You want to make sure they can stand the test of time underneath your lipstick, so they're not too dry too quickly. And to make sure you don't have too much lip balm on your lips at once, I always, you know, take a cotton pad or a tissue and just do that. Now I usually put concealer on top of my lip balm just so in my head the eyeshadow pops better, but I recently heard somebody in makeup talk about this, and apparently, at least for them, it works better when there's no concealer on foundation on your lips beforehand, so I just want to try that, I guess. So because I like to overdraw my lips as a drag artist, obviously I do, I can't just take this, usually, and just put it on my lips and call it a day. I like precision, I like them sharp, so I do grab a lipstick brush. So I do the same thing I did with the concealer. So I just put the lipstick on my wrist first and then just dip the brush into it and then just draw my shape before I fill it in with lipstick. The way I do it is I start from my Cupid's bow and then just draw it as high as I want to. After which I'm gonna go to the edge of my lip and start drawing from there, just again to see how high I want it to go. And then I'm going back to the middle of it and just connect the middle with the edge. For the Cupid's bow part, I also like to make sure that I draw over it, just so it's not as sharp and it's more like a smooth bow, like a transition. And for my bottom lip, I don't actually overdraw it much because I guess it's full enough. So I literally just follow the line with the brush and just connect it like that. So after that's done, we're just gonna grab our lipstick and just fill it all in. Okay, fabulous. The lips are done. I might need a second coat just to make sure the color is really popping, but before that, I need to let this coat dry. And while we are waiting for that, we can actually put our lashes on. So for that, I usually just use the plackers, flinsters, I don't remember what these are called. Grab them like that, maybe blow on them just a little bit, just to make sure they're definitely tacky. And then just slam dunk them on. And make sure it's like quite in the center. You don't want it too close or too far away to the right or left, because as I mentioned, it can just start poking the side of your eye, and that's no good, honey. So once the central part of your eyelash is in, just make sure to grab the sides and make sure they're glued to your lash line as well. Okay, so the very last step of the whole makeup process is thankfully very, very simple. You simply grab your setting spray or fixing spray, depends on the country, I guess. So this one is e.l.f. fixing spray in matte, magic, mist and set, and it's absolutely marvelous. I can't tell you how many times I was caught in the rain or started crying or just my eyes watering for no reason, and the fucking makeup stayed on. So I cannot recommend this one enough. So let me just go and grab my wig and show you the whole thing. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is my blue goth smoky eye glamazon look. I don't know what the fuck to call it, but it is what it is, and it looks glamorous in my head. So that's all that counts, really. If you stay that long for this video, then congratulations. I have lost my mind in the meantime because I did not realize it would take me 4 hours just to record this video. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends. And hey, why not go check out my other videos? I do covers, sing original songs, all that stuff. And don't forget to check out my singles and my EP, Seasons of Summer. And I'll see y'all in my next video, my snowflakes. Ciao!